Hello and welcome to part 2 of my 50th video Q&A special, a name which is becoming more and more incorrect the more of these I do, but this is the second and last one that I'm going to do of these. So I'm going to continue on with your questions. I've got another 13 questions, and also at the end I'm going to announce the winner of the competition. Now I've got that all ready to go, and I will announce that sort of live on camera, as it were. I've given everyone who commented on that video up until around midday on Sunday a number for their name. If you commented more than once, you don't get more than one number, I'm afraid. And I'm going to use a random number generator, and we'll find out which one of those people is the lucky winner. And I'll go through the information you need to claim your prize. Okay, let's stop mucking about. Let's get on with those questions. First up, question 14 overall comes from Robin Hood Bricks, which still amazes me. I get comments from what I think of as proper Lego YouTubers on my channel, so thank you, Robin. And he says, here's to the next 50. Question, what are your longer term aspirations for the channel? Fingers crossed on the voucher, fingers crossed for everybody there. Yeah, longer term aspirations. It's an interesting question. A little bit different from the what are your plans for Hogwarts questions, which is good, like some variety there. Aspirations for my channel. I really don't know, to be honest. I started it out not that long ago with just the idea of sharing what I've created. You know, at the back of my head there might be a little bit of like, oh, I could become mega famous on YouTube, but it's definitely not a good idea to pin all your hopes and dreams on that, because you know, it takes a lot of work and I'm not even trying that hard. So I suppose I just want to grow my channel and, you know, reach a wider audience and help people out where I can. I really enjoy giving my thoughts and opinions to people. It would be nice at some point if, you know, I it sounds really selfish, but, you know, if I could earn a little bit just to keep the channel going. I think that's the goal of so many YouTubers. It's not to earn a living or anything like that. You know, I've got a day job that pays the bills, but it would be nice to, you know, have a little bit of a helping hand, partly for, you know, my own selfish benefit, and partly so I can create more content for all of you guys, because that is sometimes the barrier, is, you know, time and money, and it's something we've just all got to deal with. So who knows? That's just something I have thought about. If not, then I am very, very happy just sharing my thoughts and my builds with all of you guys. Question 15 comes from Brickapix Lego. It says, hi and congrats on the 50 vids. I can only aspire to making that many. I think I'm at 6, lol. My question is Harry Potter or Game of Thrones, or both? Next question, have you ever considered doing a live build? So you've got 2 for 1 in there. So I would say, first of all, if you're only at 6 videos, that's really great already. It honestly wasn't that long ago that I was at 6 videos, and some of my videos are really not great and are really short, so, you know, the 50 is a bit cheeky. I would say keep going. It honestly is fine. Go at whatever pace you want, but that's not your question. Harry Potter or Game of Thrones? Now that is difficult. I'm gonna be cheeky. I'm gonna say definitely Harry Potter, but I really do like A Song of Ice and Fire, which is the book series that Game of Thrones is based on. So if you're making a differentiation there, then I might have to go with A Song of Ice and Fire, but Harry Potter will always have a special place in my heart because I grew up reading those books, read them so many times, and it's what really got me into my love of reading. So I definitely can't, what's the right word? I can't betray that now, definitely. And the second part of your question, have you ever considered doing a live build? Yes, I have. I kind of answered this in the first part, whether or not I would do, you know, live streaming or something like that. And yes, I probably will. I'll find the right set or just a set and see if that's something people are interested in. If you are, leave a comment down below and let me know what kind of time you think is a good time to do that. Obviously, I can't do it while I'm at work, but I'll need to work out what time after work is for people, obviously, you know, in the UK. I know what time that is, but also where people around the world will be at that time, because I don't want to do it if everyone's just going to be in bed. Question 16 comes from Benika87. Binika? I really apologise, you know, pronunciation, not my strong suit. Will you try and change the old Lego Harry Potter system to the new one, or the other way around? any suggestions for this? That's an interesting one, yeah. In my reviews of the 20th anniversary sets, I was very complimentary of the modular nature, both in terms of how you could stack them and how you could combine them side to side. Obviously, that is a little bit different from how they were doing things in the 3 years previously. Will I try converting one to the other? I'm going to say overall no, partly because I've kind of dispensed with both forms. My mock Hogwarts does use something similar to the 2018 to 2020 way of doing things, i.e., using the 2 Technic bricks so that things can slot together, but I don't use that to move things around in a modular way. I literally just use it to align the buildings, because I don't want to build the whole of Hogwarts as one big chunk, because then it would just break and I'd never be able to move it anywhere. So I don't think I will do that, unfortunately, but I have seen some really good interpretations out there of people who have made their own little modules that fit in, and I'd be really interested to see what any of you guys come up with in terms of making those 2 systems fit together. Question 17 from Mr. Brick. Can you make a tutorial for the app you're using to plan what you're building? So that's the other side of the Bricklink tutorial, is using Bricklink's Studio software. Yes, I can try. I'm not saying that I'll be very good at it. I've mainly just learnt it through trial and error. There are some video tutorials already out there, but I'll definitely do one of those if that's what you would like. It is useful software for anybody who's ever used Lego Digital Designer, which unfortunately has been kind of not discontinued, but it's no longer really supported, doesn't get updated. For anybody who uses that, Studio is quite familiar, does have a few differences, but does have the added benefit of it working with Bricklink, so you can directly upload onto wanted lists and you can kind of check rough prices as you're going. So yes, I will find a simple design and I will try and show you guys how that works. Next question comes from Robert Giuliano. Says, what's your favourite scene you have ever created for your Harry Potter mock? Interesting. Yeah, that's a bit of a toss-up, I would say. On one hand, I really like, and it's kind of a cheat answer, I really like little cameos and Easter eggs I've hidden around. So, it's not Harry Potter, but I love the fact that I've got Gollum in his little boat in the boathouse, partly because the standard Lego boats won't fit in there because I made it too small, but hey, whatever. And obviously Gandalf on the viaduct. But I would say my favourite overall scene is probably the potions classroom. I was inspired by the Potions class Hogwarts Moment set for that, and that currently sits underneath my quad building. Did a video on it. I really like it just because I think I was managed to make it very accurate to the set, or in the actual film, and also I just love the details of all the little potions bottles. It's just really colourful and makes what could be kind of a dark and dingy area a little bit brighter and more fun to look at. Plus I like the little scene that I had set up previously with Seamus in there having just blown himself up. I have moved that minifigure to my Charms classroom, which is also another one that I really like, so I might need to get my hands on another one of those so I can redo that scene. So I think, yeah, I would choose that one. Katrin says, hello, I love your videos, but I have one question. How long and wide is your Hogwarts mock? Interesting. I haven't actually checked. Guess I should measure it. So I have done some measuring, and according to my measuring tape, my Hogwarts is 94 centimetres wide, so looking at it straight on, and it is 54 centimetres deep. And according to Sariel's converter, which is a really useful tool actually, if you Google for that, Sariel stud converter, that is 117.5 studs by 67.5 studs. So, say studs or bricks. So that is the approximate size. Obviously, there's lots of different shapes within that, and some bits don't have any castle in there at all. But that is the overall rectangular footprint of the castle. Question 20, Brickmax says, hi, love your channel, been here since 50 subs. Wow, thank you, you've stuck with me quite a while there. Question 1 says, would you ever consider doing a gaming stream? And question 2, do you have any pets? Question 1, probably not. I know, I'm sorry, disappointing everybody. My gaming prowess is not it's non-existent. I don't really game, you know, I'll play some GTA 5 and I'll play the, you know, the Lego games, appropriately enough. But I don't think anybody really wants to see me play that. I don't really want to see me play that, so unfortunately I'm gonna have to say no. Although, hey, you know, if I'm watching this back many years in the future, I may be talking out of my yeah, but for the moment I'm going to say no, I'm afraid. And also, do I have any pets? I don't, I'm afraid. Not at the moment, although I'm, you know, hopeful. The plan is eventually, you know, get some dogs, get some cats, you know, liven the house up. But then I'll have to think about what how I'll keep them away from my Lego collection, and that will be an interesting riddle in itself. So anybody out there who's got pets and Lego, how do you keep your pets away from your Lego? That would definitely be very helpful. Question 21, Elizabeth Wingardium Leviosa, fantastic name, says, I love the way your Hogwarts build has so much detail without being insanely big and impossible to most to build. How do you get the inspiration and ideas building to such a limited space but with such a great outcome? Well, firstly, thank you very much. That's the kind of comments that I really thrive off. I mean, it all kind of stems from the original sets. So like I said in the part 1 video, my Great Hall was the first thing that I built, and I started out by modifying the set and then decided to do my own design, but I stuck with the essentially 16 by 32 overall footprint, using those two large 16 by 16 plates, and the rest of Hogwarts has kind of been dictated by that design. Obviously the Great Hall has got a tiny bit longer, a little bit taller, but I've just tried to stick to that scale. I originally designed a Great Hall that was so much bigger. It had, you know, windows that were 2 of those window pieces side by side, so effectively, you know, 6 wide windows instead of the 4 wide that I've got, and there were more of them and it was taller, and you know, I could have easily built it, but that would have been the only thing that I built. I wouldn't have built any more of the rest of the castle. So I'm glad I decided to change my style. I basically made it as small as possible while still fitting in as much detail as possible. I think any smaller and it wouldn't really be minifigure compatible. I guess that's my overall thing, is making sure it's minifigure compatible even if the scale doesn't really work. So, you know, my viaduct is really narrow, but it's still wide enough to fit one minifigure walking down it. So I try not to have any paths or walkways that are any narrower than 2 studs, even though in some cases that is actually too narrow for minifigures, which have got, you know, the arms stick out on the sides. So for instance, something you guys haven't seen yet, my long gallery that I've designed has got a walkway going across the back, and that is 2 studs wide, and that's the minimum I could make it for my own rules, my own sanity. So yeah, that's really how I design, and I think part of it as well is keeping it small so I could keep costs down as much as possible. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to build as much as I have done. Right, so I'm going to combine the next 2 questions into one because they are relevant for each other. So I will read out both your names, don't worry. So that's from Disney X Potterhead and from Tom M Riddle. Good names again. First one is, where can I find Lego pieces cheaper than the online Lego store? And the second question is, congratulations on 50 videos, thank you. Do you buy pieces often from Bricks and Pieces, Bricklink or Pick-a-Brick? So obviously all about where I get pieces from. In terms of getting them cheaper, that really depends. Bricklink, as I've said before, is a great resource, but it is essentially like you know, eBay or Amazon for Lego. You're not buying from Bricklink, you're buying through them. So it really is up to individual sellers to choose how much they're going to price things for, which means you can find some really great deals, you know, pieces that cost, you know, 3 pennies or something like that. But also you can find ones which are very expensive depending on who's selling them, where they are, things like that. With Lego, of course, it's a little bit more dependable. There is a difference between Bricks and Pieces and Pick-a-Brick. I'm not 100% up to speed on that, but there are other creators out there who have made videos detailing that. So yes, I often buy pieces from Bricklink. I haven't really got any pieces from either of the other 2 official Lego services. Of course, for those of you who don't know, Bricklink is now owned by Lego, so I suppose you could think of it as a third Lego official source. The only times I've got pieces, individual pieces directly from Lego, is their replacement service, and I have to say they are always very, very good at sending out those replacement parts. So I hope that answered both of your questions in one. Yeah. Next up, we have got Andrew McFarlane, who asks or says, "Love the videos, very inspiring. What would be the best set LEGO could release that would help with your plans for the rest of Hogwarts?" Best sets, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there's all sorts of pieces I really wish LEGO would release, either in new colours or, you know, just brand new pieces that I could use. But I think that's going a little bit too far. In terms of sets, I'd really like them to do something with the covered bridge, maybe, the wooden bridge, just because I think that's going to be quite a tricky design to make, especially as I'm going to have to make it really short overall. And I want to keep all the detail and the scale if possible. I mean, you know, the sort of dream set would be if they released, you know, rock work, the set, which was just loads of big ugly rock pieces and all sorts of detailing under the castle, but I know they won't do that. So I would say either the covered bridge or possibly the owlery, just because that's, you know, its own standalone little thing away from the rest of the castle. And I reckon it would be a nice set anyway, and it's something they've not really done. They've included little owl spaces in the tops of various buildings, but not a dedicated owlery. And I could see myself, you know, just buying that and plonking it down in the castle. Second to last question comes from Alice P, and I am going to read out their entire comment, just because I think it's really nice what they've said, and you know, their question's kind of tied up in there. So they say, "Congratulations, I'm so happy to see how fast your channel's grown. I really enjoy watching your videos. Speaking about the technical things, your videos are sweet and short. Haha, not this one. But most importantly, you've done an excellent job with your Hogwarts. I love how you always reference the book and the movie to create the most accurate Hogwarts with limited resources. Are you planning to complete the entire Hogwarts, i.e. with Owlery, Gryffindor Tower, Ravenclaw Tower, etc.? I'm really looking forward to an accurate Hogwarts in your scale." So, thank you. That was, you know, one of the nicest compliments I've received, so that really made me feel very good. I kind of answered this question in the first video, but I will go over it again. Yes, I am planning eventually to complete the whole of Hogwarts. It's literally just a term in terms of space and time and money, and you know, I'm going to get round to it eventually. So if you want a slightly more detailed answer, pop back to that first video. But yes, I am going to do as accurate a Hogwarts as I can, continuing in this scale, and you know, one day hopefully I might be able to take this to an exhibition. Do you call them exhibitions, or do we call them Lego exhibitions? I know they call them, you know, model railway exhibitions, so that's kind of the term I'm borrowing. Who knows? Yes, hopefully I will get more people to see this, and thank you. Yes, I do try to reference the books and the films kind of in equal measure. You know, I prefer the books to the films, but I'm happy to combine the two things to make the best Hogwarts that I can. And final question comes from Geo. And they say, "My question for the competition would be, what has been the hardest portion of Hogwarts to transition to bricks? And is there any portion you're anticipating getting to?" A yes to the second one, very definitely. I'm looking forward to expanding beyond what I've got here. Obviously, I really want to get to the bell towers, because that means I've got that whole front section finished. I've also designed the greenhouses, so I can pop that in front too. But I'm also really looking forward to getting to the stuff behind, because that means I get to do a little bit more landscape work with the area down towards Hagrid's Hut and the Forbidden Forest and Quidditch pitch and all the different things like that. So lots of stuff I'm looking forward to. The hardest portion to transition to bricks might actually be the Grand Staircase Tower. That's one of the earliest things that I built after the Great Hall. But it honestly took so long to decide on a design, mainly because Lego and circles do not go together. You know, Lego is made of straight lines predominantly, and trying to find something that worked in a circle. I know there are lots of great techniques out there. I know Brooks Unbound, who's building a much larger version of Hogwarts than me, is using excuse me, it keeps happening to me, it's because I've been talking for so long, is using a method of alternating bricks and round bricks to create, you know, bend it round and create a big circle. Plenty of other people have used similar techniques like that, you know, hinges and stuff and things like that. But I decided to go for as similar as possible to an official Lego set and go for those 4x4 curved quarter cylinder panels, you know, longest name ever. And I think that, yeah, that was really difficult, and I'm still not 100% happy with the scale, given that it's so skinny, but I'm pretty satisfied with it for the moment. Right, so that wraps up the second half of the Q&A. That's all finished. Thank you very much for everybody who sent in questions. I have seen another couple sneaking through after that original deadline, so I will try and answer those in the comments. And obviously, if you have got any more, then please leave them below. Okay, so all that's left is to find out who the lucky winner of the £10 Lego gift card is. So, as I've said before, I have taken everybody's names who commented on that video, and I've popped them into a list and given each one a number. And now I am going to use a random number generator to work out who the winner is. So I'm going to do it live right here on my laptop. So I've not pre-planned this. I have absolutely no idea who the winner is, and we will do it now. So drum roll, please, if you want. Here we go. And the winner is number 5 on the list, who is Andrew McFarlane. So, Andrew McFarlane, you are the lucky winner of the £10 gift card. So, if you could comment on the video below, just to let me know that you've seen it, and then if you could send your details through to Dunkandeggbricks@gmail.com. If you just send me an initial email, and I will reply to you, and we'll work out exactly what details we need so that I can send you through the £10 gift card. So thank you very much everybody else for playing my silly little competition. I know it wasn't a huge prize, but thank you for everybody who did enter. So we'll be back to normal videos, not next week, but the week after, and we will continue on with Hogwarts and reviews and everything else. So here's to another 50 videos. Thank you very much for all your help and support. If you do enjoy my content, then please subscribe to the channel, like the video, obviously leave comments as I've said, and I will reply to them, and I will see you in the next one.